And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome into tonight's episode of The Lost Frontier. I'm pretty sure that I might. Yeah, we're good. I'm just making sure that my audio's set up because I knew that everything defaulted again.
Oh
Haha,
no.
I'm on top of things. Welcome into tonight's episode of The Lost Frontier. I'm your GM, Anita. With me, we got a fantastic cast of wonderful people. We are down one Mallard Man tonight. But we wish them well. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do intros for everybody. Tell me who you are, who you playing, and how you been. We'll start with Sarah.
Hi, hello. I am Osarix Franco. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Taru, our Vulcan science expert, whose pronouns are also she, her. And then hopefully today we'll get to introduce my secondary character, Blake Finn, who's the operations manager, and his pronouns are he, him. And I'm doing great. Life is good. Pascal is in full shedding season, so it's just fur everywhere,
Oh,
but I will
baby,
survive. I am so strong.
I believe in you. Sending thoughts and prayers. Wassa.
G'day everyone, Wasa here. I use all the pronouns and so do my characters who are Admiral Nilani Salen and Dr. Sava Wren. Life is good. I'm pretty cooked in terms of like the busyness of life, but that is life. But otherwise pretty good.
Heck yeah. And AJ.
Hi, I'm AJ, also known as Whoosh Kid, and I use he/they pronouns as well as one of my characters, Ambassador Dr. Tixel, the Talaxian now ambassador of the Talaxians. And also, I am playing Ensign Uthru Zarelquith, uh, son of Taru and Savan, and a Romulan, and the next ace pilot.
Hell yeah. And once again, I'm your GM. My name is Anita. My pronouns are she, they, and I play everybody else, including that one person that you mentioned, AJ. Who was that?
Savan.
Who?
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Anita.
Last time on our wonderful show, we had a little bit of a between decks episodes. We focused on our secondary characters, our young guns, as it were, Dr. Savaren, Uthru, and why am I blanking on the last name of Milan's other character?
Dovin Pell.
Dovin Pell.
Of Impel. Yes.
So we had some nice character moments between them, and then nothing bad happened. They just had lunch together. Well, actually, the group split. Delvin Pell was sent on an engineering assignment to figure out the source of a power drain. Uthru was meeting up with some other pilots on the different shifts,
The
and
Flight Boys.
with the flight kids and the flight folk challenged Uthru to ride the bee, which is a little bit of a hazing ritual where the pilots go up onto the hull of the ship as it's being repaired and ride one of the worker bee drones to the edge of the force field. Uthru successfully impressed the fly folk, and they came back into the ship. Uh, Dr. Dr. Sava was sent to figure out the source of a temporal anomaly slash medical mystery that was Sovan, and went and did a little bit of a checkup while Taru was indisposed. They had a little bit of a conversation, a heart to heart, and kind of discovered that Taru and Savan had sort of come to about the same sort of conclusion about Savan's condition, is that they're still not quite in one spot or the other. They are kind of shifting between realities, and it's a little bit like a heartbeat. the I guess stories converged where Dovum found a device and yanked it out. It began to beep very fast and ran to a airlock to knock it out, meeting up with the pilots. They sort of passed it up through and threw it out of the airlock before it exploded. It did go boom. The ship went to red alert. And at that same time, Dr. Savaren heard a noise inside of Taru and Savant's quarters, went in one more time, and saw Savant open their mouth as if to say something, and then disappear. And I think that was the point where Dr. Wren and Taru made eye contact.
Yep.
And
Are we gonna?
do you want to pick up from there?
You tell me, boss, because
I'm-
if that's where we're starting.
I'm cool
You
starting there if you want to start there.
What did Taru see like when the doors were closed? So maybe like a few seconds back.
Okay, we can move it back a couple seconds. Taru, you sort of come out from one of the back rooms. You are in meditation. And you see Savan sort of stand up, is walking back from the replicator. Looks like she just rematerialized, reconstituted two bowls. And they went back to the system. She stops at the table, places two hands on it, looks at you. Something's wrong. She
Are you
yells in pain.
Yeah, True would 100% be like rushing to her.
Absolutely. And at that point, the doors open, and Savan turns and looks to the person in the doorway. And then looks as though she's about to say something before vanishing.
True is looking at where Savan used to be,
Mhm.
and then at the door where Ren is, and then back to where she used to be. What happened? What happened? Where is she? No. And you'll see as real emotion will start to cross Taru's face, and she is going to immediately push past you, rushing towards any sort of science office that she can get to try and start reading the readings of the area, see if there was a flux of radiation. She is immediately like trying to trace where the hell Savan just went.
Absolutely. Let me just a second.
Dr. Wren will basically turn around and like audibly say so that because like Taru is like on a path, but like say so that Taru can hear, like contact the CMO and be like Dr.
Cella.
Dr. Chella. Dr. Chella, Savan is gone. I'm not sure what happened, but she's disappeared.
I was watching the
Do you
readings
remember
from here.
those?
I was watching the readings from here. There's a surge, and then the reading dropped.
Those other life forces. Do you know? Can you read anything else?
Not at the moment. It looks like the ship's at red alert. There was some sort of explosion off the port bow. I don't have any casualties coming in. but we're still on high alert here. I'm waiting.
Teru might be going your way.
All right.
I'll go.
I'll stand
Tell
by.
me where the explosion is, and I'll see if there's anyone there. Perhaps there was some connection lost.
Just outside. She'll give you the location of the Jeffries tubes.
Go.
Teru, you're going to run to one of the science labs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there is a worker in the science lab currently. Let me just grab the notes that I have for the senior staff. You know what? I actually did not make a lead scientist for this ship, so I'm gonna make them now. So there is a human in the standard blue uniform. They they them pronouns. Their name is what's their name? They are Asian, tall, dark hair, and this is Lieutenant Choi. Can I help you?
I need access to your systems immediately. I apologize, there is no time, but I need access to your systems immediately to read tracheon radiation. There's something has happened, and I'm so sorry. I cannot explain. I just need access. And she will flash any sort of identification she has.
They'll clear a path for you, and they'll show you to a terminal. By all means, I can help operate the scanners for you.
Teru nods in that very curt kind of way, but clearly doesn't have the capacity to communicate her thanks directly. As she is immediately trying to pull up scans for the same way that we did initially, the tachyon radiation, to determine if it occurred inside the ship or if there was a wave that went over the ship.
Absolutely. Make me it'll be an insight plus science roll for Teru.
Okay.
And it will be assisted by the ship's sensors and science, which are very good. This is a good science vessel.
Nice.
And it is a difficulty 3 roll, but the ship does have advanced sensor suites, which bumps it down to a difficulty 2. And I'll assist with one guy from the ship.
I did get 2 successes because my science is real good.
Okay. And I'll let you know that the ship gave you an additional success, so you do get a point of momentum that you can use to ask a question.
Sweet momentum.
And the ship schematics pop up. There was a surge of tachyon radiation emanating from the signal that you all had encountered coming from the Typhon Expanse. It looks like there was some sort of surge.
Remind me, which expanse? Sorry, I'm just taking notes.
The Typhon Expanse, which is
Typhon,
where you were originally sent way back when.
Yes. My follow-up question would be, because we experienced something similar, right? Where Savan was kind of shifting slowly over time.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try and, understanding that wave came from the Typhon Expanse, I'd like to try and do some cool science to try and figure out when the next one would be, sort of trying to see, the timing of these things, right? I don't know where she went. I'm assuming the Typhon Expanse because it's kind of this strange anomaly that's pulling things. But realistically, what I want to try and figure out is how frequent are they? Can I count on another one happening soon that I could maybe leverage?
Okay. So I will say that if you want, you could spend that point of momentum that got to ask that question.
I would love to. Yeah, absolutely. I would love
to. So I will tell you that there is a distinct pattern to when the pulses occur. it looks like there is almost like a meter to them. Like there's a strong pulse, then there's two weaker ones, and then there's a strong pulse. You know that there are two weaker ones coming up, and then the strong one will be coming probably in about an hour.
Okay. I think I feel like True would know this, but correct me if I'm wrong. Given how far we are from the Typhon Expanse, like in the past, when things like this happened, we had to take like extra measures to ensure things weren't like affected by that additional radiation. Given how far we are, and like, what is the likelihood that those same kinds of precautions need to be taken now with like this crew and where we're at?
You know for a fact that the energy of the expanse has never reached this far.
Okay.
So something is different. Before,
Gotcha.
like, you didn't feel there was no the fact that it has actively impacted the station, like the station's power, lights, etc., and sensors. The fact that it's active, that signal has actively impacted them, tells you that something is different about the way that the expanse is working. It's almost like power is increasing, but you're not quite sure why.
Okay. Okay. I think from here, Taru would slam her hands on the console, kind of irritated with the answer that she's received, before kind of clenching her fists and closing her eyes and trying to like recenter herself, and turning to Lieutenant Choi. Thank you. Thank you very much. There is reason for alarm. Tachyon radio, and she'll just kind of like as quickly as possible communicate to Choi kind of what's going on and some of those initial precautions that we took the first time around. And I think Taru's gonna try and like get back to her personal vessel that's here
It's
on
in
the
the-
station.
So the personal
Yeah,
vessel is actually in the cargo bay, or in the docking bay
Yeah.
of the Antioch, I believe.
I think she's gonna try and find Uthru before she does that, but that's her destination. She's heading out.
Okay. So if you like, you can try and ask the computer where Uthru is.
Yeah.
You would know that Uthru is currently in a. This is going to set off your mom alarms. Uthru
Uh-huh.
is currently in a Jeffries tube, which is directly adjacent to the uh the what's it called? Sorry, my brain. Um uh
The airlock?
the airlock, that's right. The airlock that the explosion emanated from.
Um, as she's looking at the screen, Lieutenant Choi will just hear a Vulcan go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" before she kind of like gets herself under control again and like slow turns. Apologies. Apologies.
That's fine.
And she will then like wordlessly sweep out of the science room on her way to those Jeffries tubes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you make your way there. Dr. Wren, you make your way and you do find that there is a a pile of very much alive pilots in red uniforms. There is an engineer that is also currently. They're all just sort of like getting up a little bit slower than they should.
Can Dr. Wren figure out kind of like the situation that has occurred with all of the pilots in the collective space?
So you
Is that
can,
is
uh,
I'm happy to roll for it,
sure,
like a
absolutely.
roll for like the level of suspicion that Red has on these pilots.
It's
As
just
like
hanging
Insight plus
I
security.
feel.
inside the Jeffrey suit.
So what am I measuring against? Sorry.
Insight security difficulty 1.
So that's 2 successes.
Okay, that gets you a point of momentum.
Um,
I'll say that it's very easy to tell that the pilots were probably here as part of the hazing ritual that you've heard about.
mhm. I think that like with this all the kerfuffle, you kind of just hear like this polite like cough, and it's a very different Sava Ren that I think the pilots are used to, because Sava's usually very sweet and very like friendly. This is like Sava like standing sort of in front of them, small stature, looking with like the slight tilt of their head, and is like, if anyone is hurt, you need to go to the med bay now. And she's like looking, and I guess sees Uthru first, like notices Uthru the most, and is like, Ensign Uthru, I think that you need to tell me what is going on right now. I have heard that there is an explosion, and this is a matter that is serious for our ship and our people.
The engineer, Dovum, sort of raises a hand. I was sent to check out a power drain, and there was a device, and I yanked it out, and then it started beeping. So we got it out the airlock, and then it went boom. Yeah.
I think you need to report to Lieutenant Tala.
Yeah, Lieutenant Tal told me to get it out of here. Which reminds me, did y'all see that person in black?
The what?
There was a person. They ran down the hallway that way. They ran down the Jeffrey Stoops. They were wearing black.
Do we recognize what that might mean? Like, aside from intruder
I mean-
alert kind of thing?
They weren't dressed in Starfleet uniforms, so
Mhm.
probably, I guess.
We need to talk to security as well. And Dr. Wren will like page whoever is like head of security that there might be an intruder breach.
Absolutely.
Unidentified humanoid black.
Moshe Dre
clothes.
is our chief of security. They use any pronouns that are betazoid. Lieutenant Commander.
Lieutenant Commander, this is Dr. Sava Ren. There appears to be, I'm sure you're aware of what has just happened, but we have heard that there might be someone on board that is not part of our ship or our staff. Unknown identification.
Understood. We'll assemble security teams and do sweeps.
Thank you.
And it's at that point that Taru walks towards you all.
I'm helping Uthru up, I guess.
The other pilots sort of stand.
Uthru is just like fully blushing, and and then sees Taru, and is just like, what is going on today?
Before you can actually really recover, Taru is marching with purpose towards you, and you'll have a moment of like I don't know. I think every person has this where they see their parent moving just a little too fast and it kind of
Mhm.
freaks you out because like why is your mom running? Like that's a
Yeah.
scary thing to see your mom like full sprint, and it's got that kind of a vibe. Like she is very like she is moving quick and her face like is showing real emotion, ones that you haven't seen ever. Like she looks distraught. And she's going to just immediately come up to you and Uthru, I apologize, but I need to tell you this. I have many things that I need to tell you immediately. Is there something that we can go privately, quickly?
Yeah. My room's not too
Lead
far.
lead the way immediately now, fast, quick.
Okay. It's not even like uh, uh just like just like not like very like forcefully, but just kind of like just like takes uh Sava's hand off of him, but just like but almost just like a little squeeze at the end of it. Just like it's like okay, this is like something real serious. I gotta go.
You need to go.
Um and just leads his mother to his room.
Oh, go for it.
No,
Did I cut anybody off?
I was just gonna say that the doors open to it's almost like a dorm room style. There's a bunk, and there is a Cation, and looks at you two. It's I'll walks out, sees like the seriousness of this of both of your faces, and just like I'll
The second that person's out the door and they like snap shut, Taru turns to Uthru. I have some difficult news that will be challenging for me to communicate to you. I just need you to trust me and hear what I'm about to say.
Uh-huh.
And you'll watch as like she becomes overwhelmed with like emotion and starts to shake a little bit. I have to leave. Savannah is missing. I'm going to go find her. I'm going to go look for her.
Wait. Hold on.
There's no time. There is no time. There's no time for explanations. I need you to understand that I don't have the answers. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know what this is going to mean. If I had my research, I would maybe have a chance, but I don't because they took it. And you'll see as the shaking starts to increase. I'm going to take the vessel. I'm going to head toward the Typhon Expanse, and I'm going to bring her back. And I need you to stay here and stay safe. Do you understand? Uthru.
It-
Do you understand?
I understand.
The second he says that, again, with an increased haste, she's going to grab his shoulder and pull him into her and give him a massive hug, like tighter than she ever has. There's like, you can feel her shaking as she presses herself like into your shoulder with her face and like is tense, but she's holding you with an intensity you've not ever experienced.
And I think the whole time Uther was just kind of just like flinching to reach out to you. Like seeing you shake, just like flinches, is like almost reaches out, pulls back, and then when you pull him into the hug, it's just kind of just like almost like the standing of just like, and will close the hug and Uh, and it's just like, you've always taught me to make my own path, and that no one is ever lost in the stars. And
She'll pull.
I'll pull back and just you'll.
Yeah, when you say, she'll pull back as well, and you'll see that there are tears in her eyes, and there's like a softness to her that is like there for just a moment, as she reaches up and places a hand on your face and kind of holds it for a second, and that softness will disappear as you see anger and rage on Taru's face as she says, "I will never let him take her from us. Never again." And then wordlessly, she's going to drop and move out of the door.
I'm just going to do a quick O check. Everybody good? All right.
I want to, before Turvely's gonna grab her arm and just like look at her intently. You'll find Mom. I know you will. Don't lose yourself.
She'll kind of like hesitate and look at you, and one of those tears is going to fall that was building, and she will continue, like, kind of pull her arm away and continue out.
And just kind of left Luther just like still reaching out as the door closes.
The scene will shift for just a second to the office of Admiral Nalani Salen. The doors open. There is a Vulcan, a bit older, standing.
Been a while.
It has been quite some time.
And Nalani will sort of like stand to respectfully greet.
Gold security uniform. The markings of someone from Starfleet Intelligence.
I take it you're up to date with everything that's been going on?
Yes, and I have key information.
Well, here good, or do you have anywhere that you prefer to debrief?
Here's fine.
And Nalani will make sure, like, triple check the security of this area for their conversation.
And you see that they pull out a little device from their pocket, place it on your desk, and tap. There's almost like a grid that spreads out from it, a grid of light that spreads out from it, and encases the whole room before disappearing. That should take care of anything remaining.
As always. So, what do we have?
As you are well aware, Idris has escaped our careful gaze. We are currently attempting to solve the problem. We had reason to believe that they were aboard this station.
That would not surprise me with the current, well, the series of events that have transpired here. Idris has been watching this base and watching our movement. And Nilani will at least show not the encrypted data from the team, but that last line from Idris to Nilani.
They really can't just let things go.
No, they can't.
I thought we'd be rid of them after Black Spot.
You and me both. But he's a slippery one.
It is.
And like Nilani looks very, very calm, like on the surface, like the tempered voice, etc. But it's very obvious that it's a very like mention of Black Spot, and Idris in the situation is like a quiet stress that has been added to the bulk of stress that is on Nilani's shoulders.
And I think, as you are well aware, the provenance of these messages was of note to those in charge of a certain bunch of redacted documents.
Yeah. It did not catch me by surprise.
They slide a pad across your desk. I think it's time that this is returned to you.
Thank you. And look at the pad.
Files from the USS Solstice. All the research regarding Nara. Whatever this is, Nara seems to be at the center of it all.
It's what I've been thinking.
And
Since the beginning.
The ban on synthetics has been lifted, thanks in part to Admiral Picard's hard work. These whisperings we're hearing, I think that it's time that we set up the Antioch to fix them.
Are you coming with me?
You know that I work best in the shadows.
I do. Thank you. I think this information is not only valuable to myself, but certain other ex-members of the Solstice.
I thought it might be. There's some commonalities.
Too many coincidences for this to actually be just a coincidence.
The pattern is definitely
Right.
emerging. Puzzle pieces are falling into place.
Do you have any insight into what occurred here? The changeling? The cloaked
Changeling.
vessel?
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
There was a changeling on board. The base.
That is
They
upsetting.
caused.
I'm going to have to look into this further.
And Nilani will sort of like slide the report that she had on like what has happened over the past couple of days over as well.
They'll take it from you. I never received this. Something deeper is at play here. I'll take this information back to Starfleet headquarters myself. I don't know that we can trust lines of communication right now.
I don't think so either. Would Nilani and Volus have a form of comms between them that they've like their own secret special walkie-talkies? Do
Absolutely.
they have BFF walkie-talkies?
Yep.
Cool.
You can have an encrypted line of communication directly to Volus.
Okay. We'll like kind of motion to like the encrypted line. Well, you know how to contact me. Be
Always.
safe, be careful.
Always.
And you know.
We do not get into this line of work for safety, though.
No, I know.
We get into this line of work to keep others safe.
Agreed. Nice to see that you're still alive.
I endeavor to keep it that way. And Volus will stand. Walk out the door. Closes behind them.
I will put in a line of communication to the ambassador and the captain that I would like to, and like if do we get a line to Taru as well? Because I don't know what's happening obviously with Taru and stuff.
Mhm.
If you want to send a message over the group chat.
Yeah. I'm not going to do like a selfie with our solstice dockos, but I'm going to
I kind of love it.
Nilani, head of security, let me just take a cheeky selfie with like, you know,
Got the data
redacted files
back.
for you.
I'm a fan.
I think that is it safe to say that the solstice like inner circle kind of has like a name for like the solstice shenanigans kind of thing?
A code name for it, if you like.
Like
You
a
can develop it
code,
now.
like a code. I'm not sure what to call it.
Here, let me look up a cool code name for y'all. I can help with this.
Yeah, because the only thing that's coming up in my brain is like, you know, like barbecue tongs, because that's like we were always at Taru and Savant's like BBQs, and this was the redacted chat. But like, I'm like, I don't know what those are actually. It's definitely not going to be that because it's way too sus. Operation BBQ tongs.
It would be Operation Echidna.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
Echidna famously is the mate of Typhon in Greek mythology.
This is very good.
I will probably send that I'm going to rendezvous to the Antioch. And I would prefer if everyone was present. And probably mention something about like finding my neighbor's pet echidna, which is why it took me so long to get back to everyone.
Okay. I love these code names.
It's very good.
No, go ahead.
I think like Taru's already headed to the Antioch to get to her ship anyway, so she will see this in stride and won't see this necessarily as a tangent.
I don't think it's
Yeah, but like so she'll 100% go to the meetup.
So you are currently on the Antioch. You would just be heading down to the shuttle bay.
Awesome.
Because you're on your way out, correct?
Yeah, so I think maybe if I could respond back, it would just be like meet in the shuttle, like shuttle bay. Just, you know, meet there.
Okay. All right. I will say that Admiral, you can head towards the shuttle bay. Ooh. Okay. Tix, you can also head there if you like.
I don't want to.
What are you doing, Tix?
So where we kind of left off,
Mhm.
Tix was in front of his um evidence board
Mhm.
thing
We
that
did.
they were doing, and looking at all the lines of poetry and seeing if there was something connected with that.
Okay. I need to remember what the lines of poetry were. One second, y'all. So the poem that I believe Taru and Savan received was I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. Yeah, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats high o'er valleys and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. That was the line from that one. I believe Tix's. Can you remind me what Tix's poem was? I'm trying to pull up my notes and I'm failing.
Wish I could.
It was a poem.
I think I had. Wait, did I write them down? Was I smart enough to write them down?
Oh, yours was a Maya Angelou poem, I believe. Um, I will tell you that these poems are very specific
Mm.
in that I will give you, actually, make me a reason plus security roll.
With my focus in poetry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have to roll
Yeah,
a
your focus
one.
and poetry does apply here.
I would have to roll a one in order to word that to
You have
even
a
matter.
I believe
focus
in
in
you.
poetry. You would roll. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. You're right.
I only have a one in security.
It is
so.
a difficulty. It's a difficulty. Actually, no, it's a difficulty one. It's not a hard roll.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes? Okay, that's enough to get you an extra point of momentum. Boop. The what you know about these poems. It's not necessarily so. Yes, the poems are individually tailored to each person that they were sent to. They are messages for each one of you. Primarily, the message is like, "Hi, like I'm here, I'm safe, I'm around." The second portion of the message, obviously, is the code. The code is a like it is obviously very heavily encrypted. You do have most of it. But there's a third portion to it that you didn't quite realize before. All of these poems are in a book that you gifted to Nara. An actual paper book. And if you like, you could probably find a replicator and replicate a copy.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna do that.
Okay. You pull up the book. And you don't know why you didn't realize this before, but each one has its own specific page. Page number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give me them good page numbers.
And the page number is yet another line of code. Without this book, there is no way that whoever got all the information would be able to decipher it. This was meant for you to find.
I think that's around the time that I would have gotten the message
Meet in the Shadow Bay.
from the group chat about an echidna.
All right.
And
no, go ahead.
yeah, I will close the book, put it in my cloak. I got a fancy ambassador cloak. I gotta put it in my
Hell
cloak.
yeah.
Gotta do my put it in there. And I will head to wherever we're rendezvousing.
In the Shuttle Bay, apparently.
In the Shuttle Bay.
You do notice that there are security sweeps coming through, and some of them are saying, Ambassador, you should probably get back to your room until it's safe.
That's quite all right. I know how to protect myself.
All right, sir. And,
carry on.
They continue to sweep throughout the ship. Taru, you make your way to the Shuttle Bay. You arrive first before everybody else.
I think she would identify her ship quickly and try to make any preparation she would need to depart. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're meeting up here, but Taru's in her mind, singular focus. She's trying to get to open space where she can try and figure out a way to like get to Savan.
Okay. The Shuttle Bay, you do see your ship. It is there. There is a departure pad, and at this point, the GM is going to spend some threat. You see Uthru standing in the doorway with a phaser pointed at his back.
Oh no! Dang it!
Can I see who's standing behind Uthru?
A bit older than you remember them. Short mask presenting kind of cropped dark hair with salt and pepper in the temples now. It's Idris. Bit older than you remember. Doctor?
What are you doing?
Oh, well, I was waiting for you, but this one showed up first.
True's eyes flick to Uthru, and you feel it just burning through you, like your face is gonna melt before it's redirected back at Idris. That doesn't answer my question, and you know it.
Well, I figured that you were going to head off of this ship at any second now, and you would probably leverage the captain for a favor to go where you need to go. And I could, I don't know, potentially hitch a ride with you with the information that I have.
What information?
Well, of course, it was the message that was meant for you.
I would feel a lot better continuing this conversation if you let go of my son.
Oh, now. You don't expect me to get rid of all of my bargaining chips.
True.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
Mom. He got the better of me.
I mean, don't feel bad, kid. You're still young, you'll figure it out. But he won't be able to figure it out if you make any unwise decisions. Oh, I figured the three of us, you're a pilot, right? Pretty good one from what I hear. Beat that high score. You fly us out of here. At this
To where?
point, you see Nilani, Tix, and the captain all come.
Are they like the far side? Like is he going to see them first?
The way that this is sort of it's a raised ramp. They're both standing at the top of it, so they can sort of see down into the rest of the shuttle bay, and they can see the bay doors as they open, and they can see everybody approach.
Okay. Taru, like knowing that like people are coming in, is going to start walking towards Idris. Where is your heading?
Well, to the expanse, of course.
What do you hope to find there?
Well, I've got a set of coordinates pulled from the message that your little android friend sent to the lot of you. And, I mean, encrypting it once I had all the pieces wasn't very hard.
Again, I'm asking very direct questions. What do you hope to find there?
Well, your android friend managed to change time once before. And I figured that if I could maybe make a bargain, change a little bit of my own fate.
Are you willing to accept the consequences?
What consequences?
Oh, severe ones. That exposure of tachyon radiation doesn't just go away. It becomes a part of you, embedded in you. Makes you subject to the expanse itself.
Oh, you're talking about your wife's little swim in time soup? Oh, don't worry, I'll be safe in the shuttle. Okay.
Taru's in this moment just really mad at herself for like maybe not letting Uthru take Taekwondo.
I want to.
What do you want to do?
Because we could spend momentum to say something is true. Right?
So, yes, that is after a successful roll, you can spend 2 momentum to create an advantage to the scene.
Okay. Because I think Uthru's mindset was, okay, Mom disappeared somewhere. And the only way that Mother would have gotten so like upset like this is if someone that she cared about is hurt. So I think I wanted to like feel like the hypospray thing on my way to the shuttle bay.
Okay.
And just
You would like to have had have taken one of Sava's hypos with like, I don't know, some analgesic or some anesthetic.
Yeah.
You know what? I would say you have 2 points of momentum, and I am a generous GM this evening. I say that we can make
so
that
generous.
true. I say that we can make that true.
Hell
of the
yeah.
scene.
I know it's a spray, but is there other functions of it other than it being a spray?
Well, I mean, it's
Like
you would press it against someone's neck and it just instantly injects them with something. It's called a hypo spray.
Yeah. While while
1 second, y'all. Realizing that my captions weren't grabbing for a sec. Now they are. All right.
While Taru is approaching
Mm-hmm.
and obviously talking to this guy I've never seen before in my whole life. and
You have
is
no idea who
threatening-
this is.
I have no idea who this is. I want to jam the hyper spray into his leg.
Okay. Make me a daring plus security check. This is going to be a high difficulty because there is a phaser currently trained in your back right now. And
Can I make the argument?
Yeah.
When one of my focuses is diplomacy,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I have been kind of like talking to him, like just
you can
to kind of
assist
give
on
like,
this roll.
yeah, I
to
would
distract him.
love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to use my focuses of maneuvers and composure, and also my talent of wary.
All right. What's your talent do? What's the wary talent?
Well, I guess it was more of like this should have been what my wary didn't really help me before I got caught, because it's like danger could come from any corner. You will not be caught off guard when you attempt a task to notice or detect an enemy or hazard. You may re-roll 1d20.
I will say that for the purposes of this scene, because I used GM threat to make it so, we will. That's one of the reasons why I will allow the hypo spray. Like, is maybe
Okay,
you let
yeah.
yourself get caught,
Mm-hmm.
because this person seems to know your mother, and
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
so yeah.
But I want to use my focuses of maneuver and composure, because
Absolutely.
just keeping.
I'd say either of those focuses apply. This is a daring security check. And the difficulty is it starts at 2. It is a contested roll.
Okay.
So Idris is going to be rolling against you, and whoever has the most successes on a difficulty 2 check is going to win this roll.
So okay, cool.
And then, of course, Taru, you can assist by rolling 1 die.
Okay. Okay.
Is team we just got here like
Team-
too far away to do anything?
Team you just got here can run into the scene, and if there's something that you would like to do, Admiral.
Shoot, Idris, but that's fine. Like I'm going to have a look at my talents first, because
Absolutely.
I do have backup plans. If we fail the roll, I have backup plans, but I'm not sure what that means at the moment. Just want my talents.
I rolled an 8, and I'm not sure what that means.
An 8 is a success.
Nice.
I would believe I'm thinking that you're making a presence plus command check is what you're doing to assist. To try and like talk and distract.
Yeah. So yeah, that is a success for me.
Okay.
I got 2 in a 13, which are 2 successes, and with the 2, that's under my 3 in security.
Okay, so then that's 3.
So that's 3
That's 3
successes.
successes. 4 successes, including success from Taru. Idris only rolled 2 successes.
Oh yeah. So man. Okay. All right. So are you?
So tell me, describe the scene to me. Tell me exactly what happens.
Is Taru walking forward? As you're
Slowly,
talking?
yeah, slowly. She's not like almost conversationally, right? And I think as she's been asking these questions and Idris has been answering, she's been sort of nodding, like this makes sense. And it hasn't, like, even though her tone's been very curt, I don't think Idris would know Taru well enough to realize that like she fucking hates this guy.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like I think he'd recognize that she's like upset and not a fan, but wouldn't necessarily take it as like I will rip you limb from limb.
Mhm.
And so I think she's being very like, okay, all right, you want to change your fate, you're gonna accept those consequences, like all of that.
I think that
Is-
Idris also, I think, knows of your disdain and just doesn't care.
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead.
Did it just have me like have my hands up, or just kind of like just
Um,
like kind of
I-
like at my
like
side?
Idris's hand is on your shoulder with the phaser trained at your back right now. Your
Mhm.
hands aren't up.
Okay, so fully hyper spray in the sleeve, just kind of like hiding behind like one of my hands, and I kind of just like I'm like looking at True, and I'm like I look down at my hand just to signal that kind of like I have something, and whenever I get acknowledgement from her, I
That would look like Idris was talking about how Savan, we'll be fine in the ship, like I'm not gonna get got, like he was
Yeah.
doing his little bit of like I'm the bad guy, I've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
And True kind of like her eyes are kind of darting back and forth, but she won't necessarily like hone in on anything Uthru is saying. And as he kind of does that, she will shrug and kind of look at him. You make a compelling argument, definitely getting to the point. And she's going to go and like push her hair back from her ears. But as she does, she's going to make the like secret handshake, like one of the moves from the secret handshake Saban and Uthru absolutely had when they were kids, sort of a deal, or when Uthru was a kid. As she goes up to like adjust her hair as like a sign of like, yeah, send it, bud.
cool. I think I turn into the shoulder, the shoulder that Idris has
Okay.
his hand on, and just fully just like right in the leg
Hypospray.
hit the hypospray.
There's that hiss as the anesthetic takes hold, and Idris slumps down, and the phaser hits the floor.
Oh, cool. I was about to ask, do I have a clear shot? Because I was going to shoot him.
Yeah. Taru is immediately like breaking into a sprint to kick that phaser away from Idris and like turning around and screaming like, Nilani.
I think that like the minute that like Nilani sees that it is Idris, it's very and I kind of want to say like joined as a talent and having like my host. I think that Salen was a little bit of like a yeehaw, like like a shot, and like it was very much ready to look.
Absolutely.
Like,
you know what? I will
yeah.
say that like Idris like gets a little bit woozy. We'll rewind a little bit. We'll say Idris gets has the hypospray, begins to take effect. Idris, this phaser falls out of their hands, and they stumble a little bit. They're getting a little bit woozy. There is a clear shot as
Bam.
Uthru moves out the way. Make me
I think-
no. Go ahead.
I think Idris actually like hits me out of the way,
Yeah, like
just
maybe
kind of
bumps
like-
you out of the way. And
Just,
there's
like-
a clear
or
shot.
just like kind of just like you just stab something at me, get off me.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. And I will say, Nilani, make me a daring security check. This is difficulty 2, because it's kind of tight quarters, and you do, but there is like enough of a like shot, but there's still like Taru is sort of close by, and so is Uthru, so it's not without risk.
Can I use composure as a focus?
If you like, because you are joined and you know that the previous host of Sauvan was a little bit of a dead-eye shot, you can say that you have a
Yeah,
focus in
I'm just gonna
phasers.
send you what I just rolled. That's 4 successes.
Holy shit!
Now, here's the question. Admiral Nalani Salen, is this phaser set to stun or to kill?
Oh.
Oh god, so Nalani wants
If it
to
is
kill
set-
this man.
If it is set to
But
kill,
Nalani knows not to kill the man because they have to.
Hit him with your car.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
He's
Hit
just
him
a
with your
guy.
starship. I'm going to shoot to stun. So it's
Okay.
like quick shot, like, and as I head over, it, like, I'm hoping stunned, but I am definitely doing a code to Volus
yeah,
to be like, he's here.
absolutely. With 4 successes, that does get you, if you like, I will allow you to roll me. Let's have a quick look at your character sheet. I'm going to ask you to write me. Where are you? I'm going to get you to roll me 7 challenge dice.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So those are the D6s, right?
Yeah, the D60 boys.
Okay. I do have Star Trek outside. Okay. Do you know what these mean?
Okay, so those are they the delta symbol?
No. So I have like one of those,
Uh-huh.
and then that.
Okay, so that's so each little pip of those little explosion pips, those count for 1 damage. If there's 2, that's 2 damage.
So that's 4 damage,
Mm-hmm.
and this is like a 6, right?
Yes, that is an additional damage and an effect.
Okay, and I've got another 6.
Get him. Get him.
Hit him with your car. And then I roll
Reverse, and
a
hit him
2.
again.
What was that?
A 5 and a 2 were the last ones that I rolled. I
Uh,
don't think they do anything.
so no, a 2 is good. A 2 is 2 successes,
Okay.
and a 5 is
And a
another
5.
effect.
Oh, Jesus.
3s and 4s don't count for anything,
Okay.
or blanks on Star
Okay.
face.
Okay, so I have definitely 4 damage. And a 2 has an effect and a damage? Or
So a 2 is 2 damage, so that's 5,
Okay.
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I rolled effectively 2 6s, so that's another 2 damage.
So that's another 2 damage, and you have 2 effects that you can use with that.
Nice.
Effects, how those work is, let me just grab that again. So you can choose to use
Get him.
where is it?
Get him.
Charge,
Get that man.
which I think you were prepared for this shot. So if you like, you can add intense. Or if you like, you can add vicious, which does extra damage.
What's intense do and what does vicious do?
So intense, it means that the cost to avoid injury is raised by 1 for each effect roll. Or if you choose to do vicious, that does an extra point of damage on each of those die. So instead of 1, it does 2.
Okay. Can I do 1 of each effect, or do I only use
absolutely.
1? Because
You
I
can
rolled
choose.
2. I'll do the intense and I'll do vicious on 1.
Okay.
Because we said, oh wait, and I
So
have
6,
this one, so I'll
7,
do vicious
8,
again.
9, 10. That's 10 damage. Okay.
Yes.
He's a crow.
That is 10 damage, which, if I'm looking at the character sheet.
Damage is like basically the stress, right?
Yeah. That
So
that
that would
is-
leave 3 stress left if it's like our
Yeah,
character sheets.
and I would say that the hypo also did some stress.
Whoops.
So Idris crumples into a ground and is out. Not dead, but severely unconscious at the moment.
It's just a point blank shot.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like if this was not on stun, it would be absolute obliteration.
You hit Idris center mass. They wobble, stumble forward, knocking Uthru out of the way, and then get hit with a phaser blast directly to the chest that knocks them backwards into the bulkhead of this ship. And just falls to the ground.
Bolton.
This
This is the
Just-
second time that Idris has
Just-
been one shot.
takes
Get
like
fucking wrecked, Idris.
just like oh, that brings back memories.
And I think it was Nilani that did it last time too, if I remember correctly. But I think it was a
It was
It
the
was-
double
oh
takeout.
yeah, it was the double takeout.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I punched him in
Yeah.
the face.
And then Nilani hit him with the spear.
Yeah.
Okay, Idris is now unconscious on the ground, and I think Captain looks at you all and says, "I think I read a file on them."
Probably very sparse, but we need to take this. We need to take them to what you would consider the most secure place on the Antioch.
Yep. We got our brig.
Taru's going to like look at the incapacitated form and look up may I suggest an alternative?
What's that? No, what's that?
And she will sigh, like do a big sigh before turning to the group and like announcing Savannah has disappeared. Radiation from the Typhon expanse has reached even here and has seemingly affected her very being. Idris was attempting to board my vessel in an attempt to reach the expanse with me, as I was attempting to chart a course there, perhaps encounter as much radiation as possible and see if I could recreate the phenomenon that took Savannah in the first place. What if instead of a brig, you were allowed to be transported with me?
Well, I mean, this is the captain
Mhm.
again. We could do that, or we could just take the big starship. It's probably a lot faster than your little runabout.
I will look at Nilani at that point and just say, is that within our bounds? This would not be a Starfleet mission as far as I am aware.
This would be within the bounds of this mission. This is something that we need to take it under our own wing. And Nilani will, with the phaser still pointed at Idris of like, it's like, if this, like a little cockroach.
If he twitches.
Bang again. Nilani will produce the pad. Your research, Taru.
Taru's going to look at Uthru and then back at Nilani. Are you serious?
Yes. Things have gotten out of hand. We are taking this into this is a matter that we have to deal with ourselves. I will put everything on the line for us to get this done.
Again, no hesitation. Taru is going to step over to Nilani and take the pad and immediately start looking through it, refreshing her mind, checking to make sure all of the research is there before looking, kind of shooting a glance at Uthru. And just as she's looking, Captain, it should be reported that one of your pilots was attempting to abandon ship. However, that should not be held against him as and like she'll kind of get distracted with her research for a second.
Sort of looks at you and says, well, as far as I'm concerned, Uthru was trying to apprehend this intruder on our ship. Might have been caught unawares and taken as hostage. I don't see anyone trying to abandon ship. Do you? Looks at the admiral.
True will look up from her pad and do the like very coy, like looking at Uthru and raising an eyebrow and like, you're in big trouble when we get home kind of a way. Before like turning back to her research and saying, I accept your decision.
Captain, your ship, your rules.
All right, I'll get us underway. Ensign, don't you have a spot to have? Don't you have a place to be on the bridge? You got a job to
Yes,
do.
Captain.
Step to
Yes.
it.
Yes, Captain. And Uthru will start walking forward and just kind of like stop next to Taru and like grab, like just like kind of like grab her arm and just be like, thank you.
Some security officers come in and they begin to pick up Idris and take them towards the brig.
She's my family too. You don't think I'm gonna come with you?
Taru will turn that Vulcan calm once again there as she raises a single brow. I expected you to know better. We're very lucky.
Too bad I was raised by the two most stubborn people in Starfleet. And then we'll go off to his position.
Ensign, the captain's holding out a hand.
He means to take your weapon.
This should probably be returned to the medical offices. I'll make sure that Dr. Wren noticed that his hypo spray is missing.
Of course. And we'll salute. Go to his station.
Heck yeah. All right, everybody. So I think that at this point, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go do bio breaks, refresh our drinks. Y'all should do the same. And we will be back with the second half very shortly. We'll see you soon. All right, we're clear?
Hey.
Nice. Good job, son.
And we're back. Hello. Welcome back to the second half of The Lost Frontier. Welcome in, Raiders from Angry Nerd Girl. It's good to see y'all. So yeah, without further ado, Idris is carted off to the brig. Uthru, you are sent to the bridge to start getting the ship prepared for departure from the station. Orders have come in from the admiral and from the captain that you all are heading underway. Tix, what are you up to?
I think after everyone gets their orders, I'm gonna say to the inner group is like, I think I found something. When you guys are ready, meet me in the ready room.
We can even cut to there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I was looking at the pieces that Nara has given us, right? I was looking at the poems, and I realized that all of the poems, the lines of poems, they were very specific to each one of us, right? So there are actually what we thought were two separate lines of code, which was the code of from the poems stating that she was here, the code that we were meant to decipher. There was actually a third code. All those poems are located inside this book. And
I'm impressed,
we'll
Tix.
Look, if I haven't learned anything
Good job.
from you in the past 15 years, it's be more observant. There's always more to something. And we'll show each of the page numbers that the poems are located on.
Did Idris have anything on themselves?
Funny that you should
regarding-
ask that. Moshe Dre, the lieutenant commander who's in charge of securities in this meeting as well. There's a couple of the senior staff members from the Antioch. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to recover any data sticks or anything like that from Idris. We are going to begin interrogation as soon as he wakes up. However, Moshe, he is a betazoid, has the dark, almost pupilless eyes, and I haven't been able to read them. Might have something to do with their Section 31 counterintelligence training, might have put in psychic barriers that prevents me from gleaning into his thoughts.
I am gonna look at Nalani and is like, is there any Section 31 protocol that he would have followed to put the data somewhere else or anything? Or maybe
If you like,
hidden where we can't get to physically.
Nalani, you can make an insight security check.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as Nalani in the bad time zone, in the bad time zone,
Just in the bad time zone.
just in the Australian time zone. When we like fiddled around in time soup and Nalani became Section 31, could Nalani at that time have had retained some of like the information, and then like
For
that
protocols and
stream of
procedures. You have a focus on espionage, absolutely. This is a difficulty.
Sorry, what am I rolling?
So this is an insight plus security check. Or I could also argue for reason.
Okay. That is better for me.
This is going to be a difficulty 3.
Okay.
But yes, your
Okay,
focus and
that's-
espionage does definitely apply here.
Okay, that is just 3 successes. Just
That's
3.
exactly what you needed. You also don't forget you've got the scene has changed. This is a rule that I haven't really been playing with, but after a scene change, you do lose a point of momentum. So you have 3 points of
No.
momentum still currently
Okay.
that y'all can play around with. But you sort of rack your brain. And it comes to you that if Idris had the information that was stolen, the line of code that was stolen from Savan and Taru, that they would keep it fairly close and in a place that they would know to find it. He wouldn't have it on his person, but it would have been close by. And you do know that they were planning on making an escape.
Yeah, check
Boarding.
the
Yep.
ship.
That's
Boarding the
exactly what I
shuttle.
was thinking. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
chances are good that it's still on that shuttle,
Mm-hmm.
just
I'll
hidden somewhere
look over
close
at
by.
Tix, have a nod, and sort of go to the captain and or the chief security officer and be like, I would suggest we check that ship, but keep in mind this is Section 31 and they have a level of paranoia greater than Starfleet intelligence. I would like some security officers alongside or to assist in this hunt for information. Just in case.
Moshe nods and says, chances are good that if the information is on board the shuttle, wherever it's hidden is probably fairly well hidden, one, and possibly booby-trapped. So we'll make sure that our security teams do a sweep.
Thank you.
Seeing as there was already one improvised explosive device found on board my ship, and Captain Reuben looks at her. Your ship? Sorry, sir.
Agreed.
All right, I'll one second, y'all. Just have a quick look.
And if you don't mind, Captain, I will go alongside your security officers. Dealing with Idris is very high on my priority list.
And Moshe nods at you. I'll get my security team to coordinate with engineering on tearing that shuttle apart.
With the partial code that we got,
Mhm.
and the additional third line of code, can me and Taru kind of figure out what this is?
Absolutely. Now that you've got most of the pieces in place, you have 3 out of the 4 messages, and you have the cipher that unlocks all of them
Mm-hmm.
currently. So it's enough for you to at least reconstruct part of the message.
Yeah, I want to start. I'm just gonna look over to Taru's like, time to break a code.
She will just nod.
And start trying to deciphering and unlocking the code that
Okay.
Nora has given us.
At the very least, you can get a partial message. You can't get the whole thing just yet. There are key data points that are missing because Idris has hidden them. So what we'll do is we will shift to let's see, we don't really have an extra security officer, so I think that I'm going to NPC one. But there is an engineer that is going to be called to the ship. And Sarah. I just saw Pascal's face.
Yeah, sorry. I have gotten my food, and now Pascal thinks she also needs my food, so
Oh.
she'll be here for a bit. She's just going to be an absolute menace. But
I love the names.
the engineer walks up, and it is in fact just Pascal. She meows at everyone. It's really cute. No, I think as this engineer approaches his destination, he has short blonde hair that's it has lines shaved into the side as a little bit of flair, bright blonde, I should say. And his eyes are a piercing green color. Somewhere like you would say they were hazel until you saw him in the sun, and then you would know these are bright, bright green eyes. He has a scruffy beard that again is well kept, not anything too crazy. And his physique, he is a large man, like built, broad shoulders. Looks like he could carry like 1,000 worlds for his workout any day. Just a big bear of a man with a kind of soft smile on his face as he's walking to where he's been called.
Okay. And meeting him, there is another security officer also in gold, and there's a team that's been sweeping the shuttle. We haven't been able to find anything so far, but we figured that you might be able to take a look. It's Lieutenant Finn, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's Blake Finn. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. I missed orientation. I was a little late getting off the boat, as it were.
Oh, it's fine. Lieutenant Cluck.
Nice to meet you, Lieutenant. So they weren't super clear on the instructions, but
K-L-A-A-K, Cluck.
Okay. They weren't super clear on the instructions here, other than perhaps we were looking for a small device.
Well, it's something we don't know if it's been dumped into the ship's computer core or what. We've scanned the thing top to bottom. We haven't been able to find any devices so far. We've at least swept for incendiary devices because that was already found aboard the ship.
I appreciate your diligence. I would not like to get blown up again anytime soon.
Again?
A story for another time, perhaps.
All right.
So I apologize. Light banter sometimes makes me uncomfortable.
No, you're fine.
So,
But
yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy to check the systems. I mostly deal with robotics, but I'll see what I can sort out here.
All right.
And Blake will, I guess, board the vessel, knowing that it is safe. Like there's no immediate threat of being blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And he will kind of stride over to the main computer, I guess. I think he's going to want to look at the computer and see if there's anything like draining power, so
Absolutely.
to speak. Anything that's pulling energy or memory, perhaps, that wouldn't normally be there.
All right. Make me an insight plus engineering check. This is
Oh,
gonna be
gosh,
This is gonna be a difficulty 2.
Okay. That is 2 successes. They were close, but 2
All right.
successes.
You do notice that there is a portion of the ship. There is a power drain on the ship. And as you sort of trace it back, you realize that there's something in the transporter buffer.
Oh, hell yeah, because I have a focus in transporters and replicators.
I know you do. I looked at your character
Hell
sheet.
yeah. Blake's gonna kind of raise a brow, and I think as he does, he's looking across the dash and sees a picture of like the family on the dashboard, and is gonna call, "Hey, Lieutenant, this doesn't happen to be the ship of Chief Engineer Savan now, does it?"
As a matter of fact, it is, yeah.
All right. And he's gonna like carefully step away from like the dashboard, try to remember to like put all the knobs back where he found them, and go, "Yeah, all right. Well, it is what it is." And he'll just loudly call through the halls, "I think there's something skewampus with one of them replicators. I'm gonna make my way down there. I think we got some kind of device siphoning off power. Pretty elementary, but just be forewarned, it is pulling power, so it might have the capacity to explode. I'm saying that not to freak anybody out, just as an awareness, bit of information. None of y'all need to come in charging in here. I'll handle it."
Okay, so it is actually in the transporter pattern buffer, which is usually used for when you get transported in Star Trek. You basically, your entire genetic and molecular makeup is put into a pattern buffer and then shunted to another location into another pattern buffer and then reassembled. There is something currently in the memory store of the pattern buffer. It will be a difficulty 3 check for you to pull it out.
Okay.
Because you do see that there are like a couple additional security deals. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in.
Yes. Let me see.
Let me know,
Okay.
GM, if I can assist, if Nalani can assist, if Nalani is there in the scene or not.
Nalani can swing by in the scene if you like to.
I would actually, what I would love to do is I have the talent bold engineering.
Absolutely.
Whenever you attempt a task with engineering, you buy one more d20 by adding to threat. Or is it you may re-roll a single d20? So is it I add one or I just re-roll?
So you can add an extra die to the roll by using your bold talent. So you would give me, the GM, a point of threat to take an extra die, and then once you've rolled those 3 dice, if there is one on that you don't like, I can re-roll it. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Blake's gonna look at it. "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get this ping." And he just kind of grumbling to himself is gonna get down and start. To anyone else, it would look like mad science as he attempts to remove this device.
Okay.
Oh, heck yeah. That is 3 successes. A 13 under 14 was close. A 12 and a 9. So we did it.
If you like, your GM can, if you want to angle to get more momentum, you can always re-roll one of the dice.
Ooh, hell yeah, I'm gonna re-roll.
To see if you can get underneath your...
No, you just giving her threat. You're just giving her threat.
I mean, I already got the threat. It's just...
Yeah, she's already got it. I might as well try and get the full benefit. Yeah, so it was a no-go.
No worries.
But as he's removing this, do I think that it would be possible? Like, this is like you said this was sending data somewhere else.
So it's not actually sending data anywhere else. It is just it is just in the pattern buffer as like sort of like a recursive loop.
Okay,
and
got
all
it.
would just be a matter of you reversing the signal and then having it reconstitute itself on the pad.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so he's goes in there. I think he probably like taps the side of the thing a little bit and like murmurs sweet nothings to the transporter pad as it kind of whirs to life and is successful.
That classic as it rematerializes on the pad.
Mm-hmm. He will go out and snag it and hold on to it before turning to the security. Right, so I have a thing. It might be something. It might be nothing, but it's a thing. Yeah, y'all want to take it or?
Nilani, if you want, you can show up at this point in time. You see that there's a engineer currently standing next to the transporter pad with a little chip. It's an isolinear chip, so it's kind of like tube shaped, clear on one side with metal caps on both ends.
If that's what we found on the shuttle, I will take that for now. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Good
job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Can I ask how? I mean, maybe I can't, but I'll do it anyway. How did this get here? This is a pretty sophisticated subversion of the technology here. I mean, it's something maybe some college kids might do to keep their paraphernalia kept away, but seems odd. Is there something we should be aware of? Should we be checking other places for this?
Well, is the ship still on red alert?
In fact, the ship is now currently, because you're about to get underway. Why am I looking there when I should be looking here? We're back to condition normal because the threat has been assessed and dealt with and is currently in the brig.
Well, according to the information that I've gathered, there was the ship was on red alert for some reason. I am unsure whether or not you have been privy to that information, but there is a threat, and we believe that this may be linked to that specific threat.
Yeah, there's something mucking around in the Jeffries tubes. Can't say that I'm a fan of that. Worried about some explosions or something or other. But I mean, if we need to do a sweep, I'm happy to do that. I mean, I'm the operations manager, barring any kind of chief engineer on board. Can you tell me? You can confirm that this is Chief Engineer Savan's vessel.
Correct. I can confirm that this is Savan and Taru's shuttle.
Right. Okay, that's fine. But maybe we don't want to touch anything else before we depart. And he's gonna look back and like see one of the little panels that he opened isn't like clasping all the way. And for the record, I did not break that.
Perfectly fine. If Savan has questions, I will be sure to direct them not in your direction.
And it has, in fact, been about an hour.
Oh,
The
shit.
GM is going to spend another point
shit.
of threat.
Perfect.
There is both of you notice sitting in the chair of the shuttle is an Andorian. Oh boy.
An Andorian we know.
It is Savan.
Savan?
Yeah. I didn't break that. I didn't break that. It was
that
was like
sticks all
that.
the time. But as she says, it sticks all the time. Disappears again.
Yes.
Blake is gonna look at you and look back to where Savan was. I definitely that is not a transporter issue. I can guarantee you that that has nothing to do with what I just did.
If you like, you have a tricorder out. You could have been doing scans if you like to make an insight science check.
Ooh, yeah, let's go for it.
I might relay the information to
Yeah, definitely.
the captain.
That is one success.
One success is what you needed. You get a registration, a blip of tachyon radiation, a surge, and then it's gone. Those are the readings that were on your tricorder.
he'll look at that kind of like, it's not transport. I mean, if it was, and he'd look down at the tricorder. But I do believe that was a whole bunch of tachyon radiation that just slip-slopped right on through here, which is alarming, to say the least, as that will probably affect our warp cores at some point.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I think this is a matter that we need to discuss with science and security. Feel free to join me as I go over to the bridge and the ready room to see where we are up to. You have the data.
Yeah, that's fine, Admiral. I suppose I'm curious now, because I ain't never seen nothing like that in my whole life.
And if you have any recommendations on people to bring aboard this particular issue, let us know. As the Admiral will sort of dial into the team and head in with the information with Blankfin.
All right. So we will cut from there to a meeting room. Or do we want to do the interrogation first? We could do either or. I'll leave it up to you all. Do we want to do we want to do sciencey science, or do we want to do some cracking of skulls to get information?
So we didn't get the, or we did get
You
the,
did get, there is a
Yeah.
little isolinear chip that Nalani currently has.
Yeah, so that'll be the
Yeah.
sciencey bit,
Okay.
is decoding that.
So
Maybe you go to the science thing, because I know that Tix and Taru were doing the puzzle break,
yeah.
and now I'm like, I've
For
got the final piece.
all right. So Nalani comes in with an isolinear chip and hands it to you, Taru.
Thank you.
Nalani,
And you can see-
do you tell Taru what you saw?
I was just gonna ask.
I think that Nalani will say that we'll tell Taru, like, Taru, I do have information for you, but I think would you prefer this after we deal with this problem solving?
She'll shoot a nervous glance to like the group and then back at Nalani, like,
This is about Savan, obviously. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to rattle your focus.
I appreciate your concern, Nilani. I will admit that it is difficult to remain completely calm in this situation. But if you have any information that could assist in solving this mystery, I would appreciate that upfront.
A few moments ago, when we were at your shuttle, when we found this information, well, the lieutenant here found the information. We saw Savan for a moment at the cockpit.
Sitting in the pilot's chair.
Yeah, sitting in the pilot's chair. There didn't seem to be anything from what we gathered that seemed like she was out of place or aware that something had occurred. It was a response to a question of, I didn't touch that, that's fine. It always sticks kind of thing with one of the panels.
But she did,
So-
she was able to communicate.
As much as possible. It was like, if you've seen, if you've had communications where there is a disturbance within the frequencies and there are splits, it's something a little along that.
Yes. And she was able to confirm a fact, something that was real.
Something that was real and that existed with the shuttle that you have.
Okay. If Uthru's still in the room,
Uther's in the bridge. She's
Uther's
not
on
in
the
the
bridge.
ready room.
oh, gotcha. Okay.
The ship is
Yeah. She
preparing
would
to
then,
take out to head out.
gotcha. Yeah. She would just turn to the rest of the group. This bodes well, as it means that while she is shifting and moving around in reality, there is still some small anchors holding her here. That is my main concern. As we increase the level of exposure to this radiation, it changes our perception of reality. It shifts us into a different state. So long as she was able to communicate something real and true about this reality, there is hope that she might be retrieved. Thank you.
Not a problem. Do we need another anchor on the ship? Like last time?
I believe so, yes. I was able to communicate with the science officer initially when I was pulling in initial readings to begin making elementary preparations. Now that I have my research, we can become more advanced in our preparations.
It's at this point, Taru, you get a little beep on the communication. Lieutenant Choi to Taru? Doctor?
Dr. True, go ahead.
I've been coordinating with Chief Engineer. Let me have a look at the Chief Engineer's name. With Chief Engineer Tala, we are about to make the changes that you requested to our warp field before we head out of
Excellent.
here. We might have a little bit of problems. This ship has a slipstream drive. We can move a bit faster. Actually, 1 second. Let me have a look at what it's called. We have a burst drive on the ship that might be a little bit. It might be a little bit tricky trying to keep these specs. These specs look like they were for an old Nova class vessel. Our ship systems are a little bit different, but we should be able to make the necessary adjustments.
Is there anyone in engineering that has a focus in warp field dynamics? Perhaps they could dial in some of the specs, bring it in tighter. I understand that this is a large request, but it is most urgent if we are going to return safely.
Yeah, I think Lieutenant Finn can handle that.
She'll nod. I would recommend getting that lieutenant a part of that process immediately.
All right. I'll wrangle him in on that.
Thank you.
Troy out.
True's gonna look at Tix with the chip in hand and say, I believe that we have some additional work here to do.
Do it.
All
Science
right.
bros.
Science
Let's
bros.
go.
Who wants to lead
Science
this role? This is going to be a difficulty. So this is going to be a difficulty 4.
I think Taru has the more
Yeah,
science
so
than
yeah.
me.
I also have focus on data analysis.
Okay, that does. I'm going to say that it was a difficulty 4. I will lower it because you have all the pieces in place. It'll lower it to a 3. Your focuses do apply.
Okay.
And
I'm trying to see if there's a talent I want to leverage here. I could do bold science and give more threat, but also get another die.
Or you have momentum that you can spend as well. And we have 3 in the pool currently.
Oh, and we lose those when we lose one when we change a scene, right?
Yeah.
I would love to use momentum to add a die to the pool for this.
Absolutely.
Awesome. What's my role?
So this is going to be a reason science because you're trying to figure out, you're trying to crack this code. Tix, you can assist.
Yep. Where am I rolling?
I'm gonna say, what has Tix got? What's Tix got that for his attributes and discipline? Pitch me something. How do you think that Tix would help in this situation?
I think probably insight science.
Absolutely.
Just kind of like a different angle for it. Just like, yes, there's the data, but also there's the
So
just
Taru is kind of tackling the
reading in
how,
between the
and you're
lines.
tackling the why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So I'm only rolling one die
You
to
are
assist,
only
right?
rolling 1 die to assist. Let me have a look at the Antioch systems currently. We do have advanced research facilities, which I believe does lower the difficulty further. So instead of a difficulty 3, it is a difficulty 2.
I did roll 3 successes.
I rolled one
Hell
success.
yeah.
Okay. And the ship
I'm
can
so
assist
proud of
you.
everyone with their code breaking.
The
Yeah.
ship can assist you with its computers and science, which is very good. But that is not going to help. But that's still 4 successes on a difficulty 2 check.
Oh yeah.
So that is 2 more points of momentum.
Hell yeah.
You get that momentum that you spent back. And
Invest in your future. Burn momentum today.
all of the pieces sort of fall into place. The different lines of codes, they don't quite look like they line up or the way that they should at first, but as soon as Tix sort of inputs the codex from the book, they all begin to line up in sequential orders and spread out, and you have stellar coordinates. You place it up on this, basically on this holographic display, and you do find a position within the Typhon expanse.
Convenient.
It is the source of the signal. And a message. I'm here. We need to stop this once and for all. We need to put things right.
I turn to Captain Arthur, and I'm just like, well, Captain, I believe you have your coordinates.
I'll lay in a course.
Let's see this new pilot.
All right. Let's go.
And it's now we have a little friend to talk to. Isn't that right, Admiral?
We do. Why have I received anything, like any acknowledgement from the commander?
Volus says, I'm en route. As soon as you're done with him, we'll remand him to my custody, and I'll take him back to face charges.
Let's go. Let's politely interrogate this individual who we have KO'd 2 for 2.
Yep.
2 for 2.
I feel like in my mind's eye, like Idris is that one guy from Full Metal Alchemist that's like, I was undone by like Ed and Al at the very beginning of the show, and everything I try to do is like tangentially ruined by them. Like, that's this guy, but us.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely correct in that assumption.
That's a good way of thinking. I was like, this is the My Cabbages guy from Avatar, and we just keep punting the cabbages out of the cart.
That was the other reference that I was going to go for. Absolutely. Your GM is like, my BBEG.
Good. So I guess are we all going to interrogate?
Tix is gonna go.
Taru would not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, we have they're still doing some stuff with the warp core and like the anchor, so
Yeah, they're still doing preparations to go, and I mean, we're not taking him with us, so
no,
we just got to get the information before the commander comes on board and takes him away.
Yeah, we'll go and interrogate the guy.
He's just a guy.
Hit him with your starship.
With their starship.
You see Idris is just is laying on their back in one of the holding cells behind a security field. It's sort of like not looking very happy, just staring at the ceiling.
I think Tix is just gonna be like, oh, Idris. 2 for 2. And
3 for 2.
And I don't know. Section 31 doesn't seem, the training doesn't seem like it fit you.
Well, that's what I get, I suppose. Just wanted to make a small change. Wasn't going to be anything huge.
Are you willing to divulge information, or is this just another one of these chats?
I mean, what do you want to know?
What did you want to change?
Oh, I just wanted to make it so that I didn't get caught the first time. Everything kind of
Oh,
went
so
downhill
this-
from there.
This was personal.
Oh, of course. Always
Section
is.
31 doesn't even know where you are right now, do they?
Oh, you sweet summer child. This is so much bigger than Section 31.
What other forces are we playing with then?
Huh. Tell you that, my brain short circuits and I'm a goner.
Deeply entrenched and can't get out of a problem, Idris?
Always. Thought I had an answer. Thought I had a solution. They sit up. Sort of man spread on this little bed and look at you. I mean, what time you got?
You've got till the commander gets here.
Like I said, though, I can't really say too much. Otherwise,
Is that like a standard protocol thingy that we
this
like? Is that a technology?
this is
Yeah,
not
this
something
is
you've heard of.
something.
Okay.
This is some this is a failsafe that is definitely not Section 31 or Starfleet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Knowing my history of Starfleet and the Federation,
Mhm.
and would I recall any faction that would do this?
This
kind of thing.
isn't Federation tactics from what you're aware of. But I would say make me an insight plus security check. Tix.
I want to use neural net processing systems, if
Absolutely.
possible, as a focus. If this is something that's
Um,
like in the brain, do
Yeah,
I have any information regarding?
Yeah, can I use my focus of cybernetics?
Yeah, like
Sure.
military involvement or side involvement, or like any whiff of
Sure.
like
Insight
that direction
security,
of technology.
Yeah, difficulty is gonna be 2, 3. 3.
I only got one success.
Not
I've
enough.
got 2 successes.
Well,
With our successes combined,
this is something like maybe Romulans have been out of the picture for a while, but this seems like some Tal Shiar tactics. Maybe Obsidian Order, which is the Cardassians. This is some dark spy shit. This is not this Federation, even Section 31 wouldn't go this far. Well, I mean, Section 31 would probably go this far, but they wouldn't go this far. From what Idris is telling you, it seems like this might not be voluntary, wholly voluntary.
you got into deep You got in too
Yeah.
deep, Idris.
Well, that's why I was trying to change it.
Are we at least able to get the question out of you? What was your question, or what was your answer? I'm assuming that your answer was to change one part of the past.
Well, yeah, it was to get caught the first time because then I wouldn't be indebted.
Mm.
You see, like, this little twitch. That might be almost too much.
Hmm. Did
Changeling.
he get scanned before he was put in, like a med scan?
Yeah. Did not show up on med scans.
Okay. It's too much to ask or to confirm whether or not the individuals that you're associated with are within Starfleet. Is it, Idris?
Honestly, I don't know who they are. And it was my business to know.
Changeling. What happened to it?
Oh, I killed them. It was a loose end that needed tying.
Are you someone's loose end?
They look at you. What do you think? It's at this point that the doors open up. You see a tall Vulcan step through.
Commander.
Commander.
This one give you anything? Do we have any actionable intel? I need to get back into Vulcan mode.
This is bigger than Section 31, so might need to think on that.
Any further questions you have for Idris, I advise you to word your questions carefully, so
Understood.
they cannot give clear and direct answers.
Something bigger than Section 31. Someone has something over Idris, which is something to be concerned about.
They are compromised and is most likely a loose end.
There's a failsafe.
The loose nods. Looks a little bit of concern on, well, not really concern, but just sort of quirks an eyebrow. Failsafes. Well, that does certainly change things. And, Volus, if it is all the same to you, Admiral, I think that it's time that we remand this one into the custody of Starfleet Intelligence.
They're all yours.
And I press the button. There's 2 other gold with the Starfleet Intelligence uniform with Volus. They step in, take Idris on either end, and begin to walk.
Commander.
Yes, Ambassador?
Off topic. Did they ever find my my personal aide?
Your personal aide? Oh.
The one that
your
was
attaché.
My attaché. They were missing and replaced by a changeling that could possibly still be on Starfleet, on the base, but most likely dead.
We'll look into it.
If you do find her, let her know that I will be gone for a while.
Noted.
Thank you, Commander.
Of course. And they walk on their way out. Nalani, make me an insight security check.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Jesus. Okay. Inside security. That is only 2 successes.
Okay. The handoff happens. They walk out the door.
It just is gonna freaking die.
Well, it's out of our hands now, so.
I didn't. I shot a different gun. It's fine.
The camera shifts again. We will lose a point of momentum
No.
as the Antioch begins to make its way out of space dock. Ensign Uthru,
Yes.
the captain, is sitting center chair. Lay in a course for these coordinates. And feel free to engage the burst drive. No time like the present. You got the permission to go
yeah.
fast as hell.
Hell
Send it.
yeah.
Okay.
Engaging burst drive.
Make me a... Let's see, what's this one? A control plus con check?
Okay.
Nice.
With my focus of astro navigation.
Yeah, your focus does apply. This is difficulty... It's difficulty 2.
That will be. I just made 3 successes because I rolled a 4
Oh,
and my
good.
con is 4.
Gets you an extra
Hell
point of
yeah.
momentum back. Just right before the end. The ship, it cuts to an exterior shot of the ship as space begins to sort of bend as it pulls away from the station. And then space around it begins to almost bend. And it begins to shoot forward like a slingshot into space. All right, let's see where this signal leads us. And that's where we're going to end this session.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to go around. We're going to do our outros. We're going to say who we are, where we can be found. And you can do like a little after credit scene if you like. We'll do reverse order. We'll start with AJ.
Whoa! Hey, I'm AJ, also known as Husha Kid. You can find me on the 3 T's on social media, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok as Husha_Kid. I am a video editor, TTRPG performer, stream technician, and streamer and transcriber. You can find the most recent thing that I transcribed for, Polyhedral, which is found on Metalweave Games. You can pre-order the hardcover book. The PDF is available. So buy it up. It's a interview book with many different game designers that we all know well. Matt Mercer's in it. Gabe Hicks is in it. There are so many well-known specific people in that book. And they are just a wealth of knowledge, and it gets you, and you get to know them a little bit more personally.
Heck yeah.
Other times you can find me. This is Up in the Air. You can find me up on Sunday, maybe this Sunday. If not, definitely next Sunday, over on Total Party Kiss, in which I am guesting on their show, Tragedy of Theologian. They are currently in a tournament arc, and I may be a foe. A friend? I might kill someone. Who knows? Uh, tomorrow, other than morning ritual, I'm gonna be streaming a little game of Star Wars Jedi Survivor because I just got it and I need to play it. On Tuesdays, I'm on my channel streaming One Piece with my friends Click Clack Snack and Fluffy Goomba. On Thursdays, you can find me over on G Game Nights, doing a D&D X Good Society game called Eloquence and Vigilance, in which I play the superhero, the Gold Griffin, and he's just a guy. He's just a guy. Don't hit him with your car. I mean, he'd probably dodge it because he is a monk, but don't hit him with your car. Don't try. I think that's all the things that I need to plug. Oh,
After credits.
sign up for give your pitch to Critical Misses. We have open slots for the new summer schedule. After credits.
You could do either or both if you like.
I think it's kind of like a before credit.
Okay.
Kind of like on the way to Uthru going to the bridge, he actually did go to the med bay and profusely apologized to Saba for stealing a hyper spray. And just kind of just like we I really gotta stop like meeting you in embarrassing situations. I that I'm finding myself in, but you know, I'm feeling. Look, I just had my life flash before my eyes. I'm feeling a little bold. Do you want to, when you're off shift, do you want to get some food together?
Am I allowed to play in this scene?
Absolutely, you are.
I was like, is that where we cut? I don't know where to go.
No, we could do that.
I think that in the scene, like, Sava is, like, taking apart the med bay trying to find this one thing when you've, like, seen them. And it's, like, absolute mess. And it's, like, fixes that up, listens to you, smiles, etc. And then when you are talking about it, and she's like, no, I think I would like that.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta go to bridge. I will meet you later. Yeah, I'm gonna go before I mess something else up. All right, bye. Okay. Just fully goes. And with Tix, I think if I think Tix is looking over Taru. Can't help it. After everything that just happened, is just going to do the typical doctor thing that that they used to do, of just checking vitals, making sure Taru is okay, that there was a lot of stressors that happened within the last 3 hours. Um, so I think it's just it's either in the ready room or in Taru's quarters, wherever, or in the science lab, wherever
Mhm.
wherever you
I think
would have.
I think Taru's quarters make the most sense, or like probably aboard the ship since it's on the ship. But yeah,
I think it's
aboard their
just
personal vessel.
yeah. I think it's just doing the scans, just like doing the readings. It's like did not think we were gonna go back to an expanse.
Neither did I. I had hoped that this chapter was closed.
Would Tix have known that this was still kind of happening to Savan?
True. Would Tix have known?
Uh,
Or is this something that you kept
we-
private?
I think we shared that there was some fucky wucky stuff going on, but I don't think this would have been something that they openly broadcasted a lot. I think there was like a small debrief, so I think Tix would know that something was going on. I just don't think Tix would know the full extent. I think the two of them were kind of trying, like Savan and Taru were trying to kind of like handle the situation themselves
Mhm.
without getting their friends involved, understanding that some of it was like around the like forbidden knowledge that had been locked up. They didn't want to kind of tempt their friends into maybe stretching to help them. You know what I mean?
You didn't want to compromise Tix's position, potentially.
100%. Yeah.
It just kind of Tix just kind of like after like rubbing their glasses and like putting them back on, just like I know you know that I would have gotten you the resources to do the research that you needed to do in order to aid in whatever Savan was suffering from.
I don't feel regret often. When I do, it is painful. I understand.
Tix, something blips on your medical tricorder as you're sort of doing this once over on Taru. Very small, very subtle. But surrounding Taru is a very slight emanation of tachyons. Like a little heartbeat. But we'll cut away from there and we'll go to Wassa.
Amazing.
G'day everyone. Thank you for watching and listening to our space shenanigans. My name is Wassa. You can find me on WassaBotte on Twitter. I am a freelance writer and a baby game designer, so watch this space for some of that stuff. All of like the actual play things that I'm involved with currently are actually being recorded and I can't talk about them, so that's sad, but I will plug that when that gets released. So yeah, thank you for having me. That was great. I think that I'll do Dr. Wren first. And I think that where they are sort of like building the anchor for as we fly to the expanse, Dr. Wren will sort of like peek in and like survey and is like, I was wondering if I could do anything to help. I know a little bit about tachyon radiation and some theoretical physics may be of assistance here, I think. Hopefully.
And Lieutenant Troy. Yeah, absolutely. Come on in. More the merrier. We're just working on these last minute calibrations.
Perfect. And that will be a bit. I think that for Nalani is in their quarters. Has sort of like the communications with Voluce sort of there, like just to the side, just keeping an eye on it, but has sort of started to delve a little bit with what Idris has said, looked at Idris's escape in particular, and started to give it a once over to identify the possibility of how did Idris escape, what happened, and find any patterns regarding that.
All right. Begin to open up the research. Camera will cut from there. We'll deal with that next episode. All right. Sarah.
Hi, hello. I'm Osarix Franco. You can find me all over the internet at that handle, because I do internet things with that name. If you want to see me do more TTRPG stuff, check out Plus One EXP's channel next Monday for the finale of our Triangle Agency game. Triangle Agency is a system that'll be launching on Kickstarter in June, and when I tell you, it's so good. I mean it. It is a phenomenal system. My character died at the end of the last session. I don't even know what that means. So we're coming in hot, and it's very good. So come check that out. You can also find me Tuesday over at the Nation of Joe, playing Neapith, another mom, but a mom that punches more and harder. So come watch that. It'll be a great time. For my post-credit scenes, I'm gonna start with Blake. It will be brief. It will be him. Like, I don't even know if you'll be able to hear anything that Blake is doing necessarily. It'll just be kind of like a wide pan, like following him in a day-to-day. We're gonna show him at the Warp Core as he's kind of cajoling with his like fellow engineers and like, you know, kind of razzing them as they're pointing out specs and talking through it. Like, it's obvious that he's acted as like a mentor for some of the younger engineers there. It'll kind of slide around the room as he's looking at the warp core, and like kind of scrunching his face and turning to the chief engineering officer, like asking questions and spitballing, trying to brainstorm how to improve the specs here. And the entire time he'll just have like a big friendly smile on his face as we're working through the problems. It'll just be kind of following Blake around as he's a big guy with a big heart.
Aww.
And then it will cut to Teru. She is aboard the ship. The lights are down. They're dim. Tix has left. She is simply sitting in one of the chairs. She's holding the picture of her little family in her hands, hunched over. Her elbows kind of resting on her knees, holding the picture frame. And the camera will just see the smallest glint of water as you see that Teru is openly crying, holding that picture, hoping that Savan will just maybe bleed back into existence. And that's it.
Oh, I feel bad for
Teru.
That's what you get for keep on taking our mom.
For
Too
taking
bad.
my wife.
My mom.
What mom, what wife? Anyways,
Ew.
that's me. Hi, I'm the last one in this order. I am your GM, Anita. You can find me everywhere at Panita or at Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, producer, and cat mom about space. Next, you can find me tomorrow for Morning Ritual. It's our TTRPG talk show. And our guest is Fawning Games. So we're going to talk with Jess. I'm very excited. And after that, Sundays, you can find me over on Pluto Cleric's channel for the Weird Frontier, the Starfinder game. I play a former cultist who was chosen by two gods. It's great. Then on Tuesdays, you can find me over on Modifius's channel for another Star Trek Adventures game where I play a morally gray business trill who is trying to solve a mystery about some herbs and some Orions. It's gonna be a fun time. I get to do the log this week, so look forward to that. What else? If you want me to run a game for you, like this, in fact, a Star Trek Adventures game, I am now on Start Playing Games. You can sign up for a session that's like for about the cost of a movie. I can make a movie happen in your brain with your imagination with Star Trek words. Yeah, do that. We got 3 slots open out of 5, so sign up. It's fun. It's gonna be a good time. And it helps me make a little bit of money. Also, if you want to run a game on this channel, I will take care of the tech. I will take care of the casting. All you got to do is send in your pitch to Critical Misses. I will grab the tweet and throw that into our chat so that folks can sign up if they want to sign up. Here's the link to our pitch package for our summer.
That was the link.
You already did it. You already did it. Thanks so much. You're so fast. But sign up. It's great. We'll make sure that you've got like a cool, inclusive cast and some good people with you at your side while you run a game on the channel. That's it. That's all. That's me. I got more things that are coming up, but you gotta maybe follow me on the socials for that. We're gonna go on a raid after I do our after credits scene. I guess I gotta do that, huh? Let's see. Where do we go from here? Somewhere in the Typhon Expanse, there is a small ship. Small, old Starfleet shuttle. Careworn. Panels are dusty, dirty from time. The ship itself is just a small runabout, given to them formerly by an admiral and a friend. Sitting, waiting patiently, is Nara. Do you think this is going to work? And there's a deeper voice. It has to. Everything changed because of what we did. Now we have to change it back. You see Captain Harrow sitting in the co-pilot's seat. That's it. That's our episode. I was also gonna do like another thing, but we could do that later. That's fine. Let's go on a raid. Let's go say hello to someone. I'm seeing that Madame Gandalf is online. We can go say hi to Alex over there. Thank y'all again so much for joining us. That has been our episode. We will see you next week with the series finale of The Lost Frontier. Till next time, everybody.
Kill him.
Live long and prosper. Bye.
I mean, I guess.
All right, we're clear.